This one's called the Cuckoo Bird. Hi, I'm here today to talk a bit about an adventure I'm going to embark on in 2025. But first, I'd like to talk about who I am. My name's Fred Jones, and on the trail, I'm going to go as Grace Stoke. When you talk about who you are, a lot of people identify with their career or how they made money. But there's other ways you can do it. And I identify myself first and foremost as the husband of a beautiful, brilliant, wonderful wife of 44 years. I'm also the father of 4 children who I love dearly, and I stayed home and essentially raised them and home educated them. So I have a pretty special relationship with them. But education-wise, I'm a veterinarian, and I worked a short while as an equine vet, but for various reasons I left that career. I've also worked as an EMT. I volunteered in our county and worked on a paid crew for a few years. And I've worked as a short order cook. I've run a sawmill. I play the banjo. I'm also a hiker, and I've hiked in the Andes, in the Appalachians, in the Alps. I guess a lot of mountain ranges have A names, don't they? I hiked the AT back in 2019, and before that, in 2018, I hiked the Long Trail in Vermont. So, as you might guess, I love the outdoors, and I'm also kind of a self-reliant guy. I've lived off-grid, which means no electricity or no power company electricity since 1990. I built my own house. I have a sawmill and milled all the lumber for it. I went out into the woods with a chainsaw and cut down the trees. I'm certified crazy. But yeah, self-reliance has been a big part of my life. And that sort of carries over to the trail, and maybe part of why I like backpacking. So what is this project? Well, I plan to hike all 3 of the major trails in the U.S. The AT is one of them, and then the Continental Divide Trail, and then finally the Pacific Crest Trail. These trails are, it's a real physical workout to do such a thing, but it's also a logistical workout. It takes a lot of planning. There's permits for different sections of the different trails that you have to deal with. Plus, the trails are virtually impassable in certain times of the year. So you've got to hit these trails at a time of the year when they can be passable. So while I'm pretty comfortable on the trail, this adventure is going to be a special challenge for me because I'll have to do parts of it in the winter, and I've not done a lot of winter camping. There's a purpose for my hike. You might not guess it from my youthful looking appearance, but I am getting older and getting up in my years. And when you reach this point in your life, like I am, you start thinking about bucket lists, and you start thinking about, well, am I going to have regrets about not doing something, and that's kind of the core of why I'm doing this, because I have a friend who lives in Texas on death row, and he's been there for 30 years, more than half of his life, and he's an innocent man. And I've looked into his case, and of course a lot of people in prison declare their innocence, but it's pretty irrefutable in Charles's case. His name is Charles Raby, that he didn't do this. And so, as a result of my friendship with him, I've looked into the criminal justice system, and I've realized we have some major problems. And don't get me wrong, I'm not anti-police, I'm not anti-judicial system, but our policies and the way the system works is deeply flawed. I'm not saying I'm going to solve any of these problems, but before they can be solved, I think we need to have a general awareness of what those problems are. And maybe eventually we can make some progress. Like I said, I'm pretty good in the outdoors and self-reliance. I am terrible with technology. I only got my first cell phone about a year ago, and my kids got it for me. So I was very much a reluctant participant. But in today's world, it is a necessity. I think it's overused by a lot of people and abused in many ways. So perhaps the biggest challenge of all for me is going to be this technology stuff and doing this vlog. I've got people helping me with it. I'm kind of an introvert. I'm not too comfortable talking. But I'm going to push on and do it for Charles. So Charles's nickname is Tarzan, and he'll be hiking with me in spirit, and like they say in hashes, on Charles, and that's what we're going to do. Thanks, and I hope you'll join me. I'm sure looking forward to it, and especially if I have people listening in.